Hello Flosstube, my name is Laura and I'm here to do my first Flosstube video. Since it's my first Flosstube video, I thought I would answer a few questions from the Know Your Needleworker tag. I don't know who started this, but I have seen several Flosstubers introduce themselves this way. So I thought I would answer just a few questions so my first video will not be too long and boring. So the first question is, where do you live? I live in Toccoa, Georgia. It's a small town in northeast Georgia. It's almost near the South Carolina line. What do you do for a living? I am retired from the financial industry. My degree was in accounting, so I have an accountant's personality. Name 3 of your favorite hobbies. Well, cross stitch, of course. That's a reignited hobby. I love it. I liked it when I was younger, but now I really love it. It's changed a lot, and there's the internet and Flosstube, and so there's community associated with it now that there wasn't back in the 80s when I first learned to do cross stitch. So cross stitch, crocheting, and knitting. My handle on Instagram is I crochet with cat fur. So I've made several afghans and blankets and hats and things like that. Knitting and crocheting were a great stress reliever when I was working. That's all I'm going to answer on the Know Your Needleworker tag. I'll pick up the rest of the questions. I might do them over 2 or 3 videos because I don't want it to go too long. So let's get into what I've been up to this year. I started cross stitching again in 2018, in about April of 2018, and then I participated in Mania that year, but I only did 5 starts because I was so new to it, and having a lot of whips was foreign to me. Before, whenever I had cross stitched, I had just bought a kit or something from, I guess it was Hobby Lobby or something back then. I don't really remember where I got these things, but it wasn't a LNS because we just didn't have them. So let's start with my 2019 FOs. These are FOs, but they're not FFOs. I do have a few, very few FFOs, but I stitch seasonally and I pack them away. I don't keep them out all year, but I love decorating for the season. So here's what I've finished this year. The first, I'm sure everyone has seen this, but it's the Prairie Schooler Barnyard Christmas Animals. And I did the horse and the chicken down at the bottom and the cow. I did the horse and the cow on 28 count Monaco, and I stitched it 1/1, and the Monaco was coffee tea dyed by me, and as you can see by the scale with my fingers, they're tiny. But even though I used I thought one thread would give me the coverage that I wanted, but I was kind of disappointed with the coverage. So I quit stitching them 1/1 on that. And I did those in 2018. In 2019, I stitched the chicken. And I'm really happy with coverage on this one. It's stitched on 36 count vintage country mocha in burr linen. And it's quite a large piece. So I think maybe I can stitch all 9 on this series. So I'll probably restitch these 2 little ones, the cow and the horse. They really are cute little, and you can't tell unless you look real close, but like I said, I'm kind of picky. I have fussy personality, so, but they really are cute. The next one I stitched was Prairie Schooler Folk Eggs. And I stitched 3 of these. I stitched this one, and this one. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. And I stitched them on 14 count black Ada. I think it's washing real bad if I come back. If I come back, the colors are true, you know, closer to true. But these were not that hard to stitch on 14 count Ada. I could see it with magnification and lights and everything. This one is, I'm sure y'all will recognize this one. This is by Misty Purcell Luminous Fiber Arts. It's called A Bluebird's Message. And I stitched them, I think right after the beginning of the year. And we've kind of had a hard year this year. My daughter was diagnosed with breast cancer. So a lot of stitching, a lot of communicating. I still stitched, but I didn't stitch as much, and a lot of communicating with my Instagram friends. I kind of didn't communicate as much as I would have liked to, but this one was a fun stitch and provided some joy during a hard time. My daughter is fine. She has been through a lot. Her prognosis is good. She has 2 of my grandchildren, 2 of my 3 grandchildren she has, and they motivate her to keep going, and she's a very strong person and much stronger than her mother. So I'm real proud of my daughter and my son, all my children. But now this one is a Leisure Arts book, 50 Fast and Festive 50 Christmas Designs. I stitched this one right here, the snowman with the cute little deer. I especially love the eyelashes on. That's so cute. Anyway, but it's stitched on 28 count Monaco that I coffee tea dyed myself using the Cob 4 DMC threads. This is one that one of my Instagram friends, she had purchased 2 patterns that she already had in her stash by mistake, and she sent them to me, and along with some organic homegrown lavender, Lilybug Lane, and I think she pronounces her name Lala instead of Layla. I always want to say Layla, but I think it's Lala. Anyway, she's so kind and generous, and I loved this pattern, so I bought the fabric and threads and put a few stitches in it. And here it is. And I can't remember what fabric this is on, but it is the called for fabric. And I'm stitching 1/1, and the flower and the leaves are specialty stitches. And I didn't know how to do specialty stitches, but the instructions were clear enough that even a beginner could do it. So I really enjoy this, and I thank you, Lala at Lilybug Lane, very much. Thank you, your generosity. It was touching that you would think of me and think of my daughter. So that's all I have finished so far this year. So my 2019 whips, I stitch seasonally. So my 2019 whips are, you know, like if I don't finish them in the season, I'll just put them away. I did start these out of season, but these are the Advent animals, and this one's not quite finished. It'll have a number, I think some snowflakes, and it's going to say cookies over there. It's a little raccoon with his hand in the cookie jar, and it's going to have a little bit of a border to it. And these are a free pattern that Brooke's Books, I think. I might be saying that wrong. I'm going to try and link it in the description box. But it's Advent Animals, and it's Brooke something. I think it's Books. But these designs are free, and there's 25 of them, and they're adorable. There's a camel, there's a mouse, there's all kinds of little animals, and they are so cute, whimsical. And the reason I don't have the pattern is those are PDF downloads, so you can get them. Another good thing about it is you can get them instantly. This is a Riolis kit that I got from Hobby Lobby, 75% off. I think I paid $7.50 for it, for the fabric and the floss to do this, and I think it is the perfect little Easter design. When I show you my project, it's this rabbit and part of the orange on this bunny that I've stitched. But of course it needs the back stitching to come to life. But it's stitched, I think it's 14 count Ada that came with the kit. And I love the threads. They're a wool blend, and they just glide through the fabric. It's really fun to stitch. Okay, this one, I'm going to show you where I've stitched first. I've stitched a little part of the brown, the house, and some of the green tree, and I think you'll be able to see it. It's not much, so it's not going to look like this. But what this is a pattern that I thrifted for 10 cents. And what it is it's a cross-stitch design from a painting of Grandma Moses that Grandma Moses did. That's the picture of the painting, and this is the cross-stitch design. It's not full coverage, but it almost looks like full coverage. This sky and water is just not stitched, and it's stitched on blue Ada. So anyway, so I went to Hobby Lobby and bought a piece of linen, and Rit dyed it using Farm Girl, Michelle Rudy Farm Girls Rit dye and fabric tutorial, and this is what I've got so far. I was real happy with it. I used royal blue and aquamarine, and in 2 separate dips, and I was real happy. I feel like it looks, you know, it's got good modeling, and it looks like sky and water, so I was real happy with that. Okay, that's all for my 2019 whips, and like what those are ones that I have, and if I'm not looking at you, it's because it's hard to remember to look at the little tiny dot on the side of my iPad. So I'll get better at this, but I know I tend to want to look at myself instead of looking in that little bitty dot right there. So anyway, those are 2019 whips. So I stitch seasonally, so when the season's over, or you know, I just don't feel like stitching on it anymore, I put it up until that season rolls back around and I start feeling it again. Oh, wait a minute, I have one more. I have one more seasonal whip. This is, and I'm really, you know, past stitching this, but this was another kit from Hobby Lobby that I paid $3.50 for. And it included the Ada and the threads. And I thought the colors were so pretty and that it would be a great summer stitch. So this is how far I got before I felt like I'm done with summer. I'm going to move on. So, but there's a lot of color changes and a lot of confetti. You know, like all those stitches are confetti. They'll be black because they're strawberry seeds. And I don't remember what that color is, but it's fun to change colors when the colors are so pretty. And it's 14 count Ada, so it's not as hard to see. Okay, now that's it for my 2019 whips. Now I have 3 current whips that I keep in my project bag. My project bag is a Walmart tote that I stick three projects in to go to my mother's. I go to my mother's quite a bit, and we watch the Waltons and Little House on the Prairie, and I sit there and stitch and keep her company, and I'm enjoying my life right now. It's wonderful getting to spend time with my mother. This is a Sue Hillis design that I started in 2018 during Mania. And then I put it up till this fall. Well, it's close to fall. Anyway, this is on 14 count. I can't see what you're seeing, so I'll back it up some. This is on 14 count blue Ada that I coffee tea dyed and baked. And now it looks like it has kind of a greenish cast to it. But I was real happy with the fabric. I did that. All the coffee tea and dyeing that I'm doing, you know, on my own is from watching Priscilla and Chelsea, their famous coffee tea dyeing tutorials. Anyway, I love this pattern. It's so fun to stitch, changing those colors, and it'll come to life when I do the back stitching. This next one is not the season yet, in season, but I really want to get this done. I started it last around Christmas, so, and it's Silver Creek Samplers My Christmas List, and I think this is 18 count vintage country mocha. I think it's some kind of Ada. It's not linen, but I love this pattern. I love this pattern so much, and I thought it was cute when I saw it, but when I showed my husband this sampler, he read to me the words on the sampler, and it really is a poem, so I'm going to try and read it like he read it to me. Family visits, turkey dressing, woolen sweaters, Christmas blessing, flying reindeer, mistletoe, candles glowing, hot cocoa, pies and cookies, Old Saint Nick, peace and goodwill, peppermint stick, wrapping presents, gingerbread, hang your stocking, time for bed. Angels singing, Christ is born, a gift for all on Christmas morn. Now, probably many of y'all figured out that was a poem, but all I saw was cuteness, and I didn't realize it was a poem until my husband read it to me that way. So I just absolutely love this sampler. My last whip that I keep in my bag that goes to with my mother is my grandson's stocking, my oldest grandson's stocking. Well, my only grandson, but my oldest grandchild. I'm just now starting their stockings. I hope I get this finished before he's out of his parents' house and on his own. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I have stitched, I'm going to show you the part. This part of the scarf, the nose on the reindeer, that, I guess that's a bridle of some sort. And then part of the jingle bells. And of course it doesn't have any back stitching, so but I don't know if you can see it, but the jingle bells have a metallic thread running through them, and they have a little sparkle just like a jingle bell would. And I got these kits July 4th when I talked my husband into driving me to Sevierville, and it was packed. I mean, he's so sweet to be willing to do that, because it was wall-to-wall people. But we got there just before they closed, and I could see the models stitched up, and they're just gorgeous. My children would prefer a snowman as opposed to a Santa Claus stocking for their children, so I thought they would like those stockings. They're So cute and festive. Okay, now the next thing is my small haul. Like I say, the last thing I bought, except for what I'm fixing to show you, was July 4th, and I bought 3 stockings. And I have no LNS, so, or not that I know of, so I order online because I don't know what else to do. I mean, I would love for somebody to open up a new workshop, but I'm so grateful that we do have online shops that we can order from. But I ordered this from 123 Stitch. It's Weeks Dye Works. It's 40 count parchment linen, and it is a huge piece. It is 26 by 35, and I've never paid that much for linen before, but I needed it because I know I'm late to the party, but this is what I want to stitch on that piece of linen. I don't know that I'm going to need that big a piece of linen because I looked at the back and I like that layout. I think I prefer this layout over the long, more narrow one, but I just love this. This is by Carriage House Samplings, The Farms of Hawker and Hollow. So cute. Well, cute might not be the word. It's really beautiful. And because, you're paying shipping, I always try and get a chart or two so it doesn't travel alone. So these are the buddies that I got for my linen. I got the 2019 Santa, Peace on Earth. I love the sheep and the little lamb. I love Prairie Schooler. And from Stony Creek, I got the March, Body Island, North Carolina. The Outer Banks are special to my husband and myself. Love the Outer Banks. And I'm crocheting a Hatteras Lighthouse little afghan, and I haven't worked on it in a while, but I hope to continue doing that. That's all I have. I appreciate you. I feel like this video was long, but I appreciate you coming and visiting with me, and I hope you have a great stitching week. I am going to tack on a 2-minute video of a haul, a vegetable haul. One of my favorite things to do in the summertime is to go to a farm stand that's about 45 minutes away from me, up near Dillard, Georgia. So I think it's Rabun Gap, Georgia is the name of the town. I saw it on some boxes in the farm stand. But anyway, I will tack that video on, and I hope y'all have a good week, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Osage Farms is coming up, and there on the right. It's my favorite farm stand. We're going on past so we can eat some lunch and not have to worry about our vegetables in the hot car. We're going to eat at the Dillard house, and this is their driveway, and they have lovely hydrangeas there that were bright white earlier this summer. There's the Dillard house. I love those bright green potato vines. There's the view of the valley. And there's the menu country cooking that we just love. Beautiful view and wonderful company. That's my husband, Bill. A feast. So I'm going back to get some vegetables to prepare my own feast. This is my haul. Tomatoes, green beans, corn, squash, peaches, baked bread, fresh baked bread, and a t-shirt. The color, I love it. It's a muted red color, but not pink. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're headed home where I will do some stitching and my husband will watch Georgia football.